I'm curious, what experience do you have with cults?
None whatsoever, thank God.
Don't they freak you out though, the whole concept of this? And why would you want to make a film about that?
Because they're fascinating. I mean, obviously I'm freaked out. You should be freaked out. But yeah, no, I'm completely and utterly fascinated. I keep saying I'm in the cult of cult now. Cult of cult.
We, now you can be the leader, right? Um, why did you switch the setting?
Oh, but because of the pandemic, unfortunately. I
Ah,
know. Not that it didn't turn out to be a sort of hidden gem in a way. It was a bit of good luck, but yeah, it was just they no can do.
well, and then when you're crafting what this cult will be like,
Hmm.
what kind of things what are there hallmarks? Are there things that you need to have to, to give that kind of authenticity that it needs?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the process of writing it, the cult's objective changed constantly because, as time rolled on and terrible things were happening in the world, and then more terrible things were happening, and then you realize that it's all just moving faster than I could sort of write in a way. And I think that cults ultimately feed on the sort of current fear that exists in the world, and they mirror basically what's happening in the world that you live in. And so I think ultimately I thought, well, the climate crisis is pretty high up there on things that we should be very afraid of. And I think that people are lured in when they are feeling fear and anxiety and vulnerability, and they want explanation and support and understanding and leadership. And then, you know, there you
Well,
go.
doesn't that feed into politics as well? Because aren't they preying on those same kinds of things?
I guess all politicians are, yeah.
They're cult leaders, right? That's just exactly what they are. For you, do you have children?
I do not.
Okay, because to me, I would think that that would be the biggest fear is you don't have constant contact with your children at all times,
Yeah.
and that you don't know who they're encountering or what they're encountering.
Yeah.
Um, is that kind of part of it? Is that unknown?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like with the father-daughter story, it's if you're going to bring your daughter to Berlin for the summer, your 16-year-old, yeah, you might have to give her a little pep talk about the nightlife and, the crowds that you should not be falling in with. And
She would be on a leash. I couldn't leave her, right?
to
Because
be
you think,
honest,
who are these people?
he was slightly distracted. See?
Isn't that always the way it is? Always the distraction. How
Yeah.
did you happen to choose the actors that you did? What was it about them that you said, this is what I need?
Well, I mean, Eric's been on it since day one, like even, when we were shooting in Tokyo, and he's just hung in there with me throughout, which has been amazing. And I don't know, he's such a lovely guy, and I think I don't, I don't know, in terms of playing someone's father, he's just, he's so wonderfully endearing and, kind and all these things. And I really wanted that character, not even though he makes, a few missteps that could have led to catastrophe. I think you always have to kind of be on his side and see that he's, really doing the best that he can. And Sadie's just Sadie, she's magnificent. What more is there to say? But she's also got that, wisdom beyond her years, which I think, Mazzy does too. And they sort of have almost like a friendship more than like a father-daughter relationship. And so I thought they were, ideally suited.
Well, what about the
Go
cult
on.
people? Those cult people, it's like,
Oh, I know, I know. Well, they're just fantastic. I mean, Sophie Royce is like utterly terrifying in it. She's brilliant, so
yeah,
brilliant. And she just
I
was just unafraid and like, ready to go for it.
I watch this late at night, and
Good.
all I can think about is they're knocking at the door. They're going to
Yeah,
be here, and they're going to get me. This
they're
is the
coming for you.
trick,
Yeah, they're going
right?
to drink that awful drink and they're coming for you. Yeah.
Yeah. And what was the thing they put in their mouth?
So there was the shell. There was the shell, sort of the idea that, they're basically, going back to nature, ingesting nature. Yeah. And then
When
there's a
you,
night pill, but yeah.
yeah, when did you read the book? Was it quite a while ago, and then you said I have to do this, or
2019.
oh, it was a long time ago,
Yeah, 2019. And then, yeah, I adapted it. And we were ready to go in 2020, and then it all
and
came
then
to
look what happened.
yeah.
See, that's the other. Well, when you have that kind of holding period, do you change things, or do you say, "This is
Oh
what I
yeah.
want. I maybe should have rethought this."
No, I mean, I had to completely rewrite everything because the original script was so rooted in Japanese culture. So all that went out the window and then had to be rewritten for Berlin, and all the characters changed hugely. Yeah.
How is Berlin for you as a girl? Did you ever go there visiting? And
Do you know, no, I didn't go to Berlin until I was an adult.
uh
Yeah.
and did you? How are your parents? Were they kind of hovering all the time and making sure that you wouldn't get involved in something like this?
I don't think anybody thought I was going to join a cult, but yes, they were definitely, yeah, hovering. Hovering would be
Yeah,
very.
well, is this a lesson we should learn, or what do you take away from this
I think
as
it's a cautionary tale for sure. I mean, it's about, I think cautionary tale, especially in the times that we live in, and it's be careful the information that you trust, be careful the people that you trust and you give your power to, as Sylvia says. It's, we in this sort of post-truth world, you just have to be very, very cautious and, think for yourself.
is
Indeed.
there likely a sequel?
Hilmer on the Run.
Right, right.
That would be great.
I
Maybe
mean,
you could go to Tokyo.
and then you get back there, and that's how you
Back
pull
to
it all together
Tokyo.
again, right?
Exactly. That would be great.
Well, this is a marvelous a work. You really have done something with this that I was expecting something else, and when I got into it, mesmerized.
Oh,
And
thank you.
like I told you, scared. So I wonder, where does that trick come in? At what point in your doing this do you say, I've got him, I've hooked him now? This is where I can do it.
Yeah, I think, I mean, it was quite difficult, sort of slowly drip feeding the story points and the changes in the characters enough that keeps you guessing and doesn't give anything away, until there's, quite a significant reveal at the end.
Yes, well, thank you so much. I sure appreciate it. And I'm covering up my luggage tags. I'm doing everything I can to make sure I'm not in a cult.
Don't talk to strangers. Exactly.
Right, right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.